And the math is that if you spend 20 minutes of your day, every day, and you do that for about 40 years, that in essence, if you total up all of those minutes, that is basically a year of your life, of your awake life, that you're losing on this thing that you don't even care about. I think you owe it to yourself to ask the question, why am I allowing this person to occupy my time, my energy, my finances, my thoughts?
Welcome, John, to our show. Great to be with you. Can you first introduce yourself to our Korean fans?
Kelly, thank you so much for the invitation to be here. I'm so honored. Yeah, my name is John Strelecki, and I am the author of The Cafe on the Edge of the World. And in addition to that, I am a father, I am an adventure traveler, and I am someone who is constantly asking myself about life.
Wow, thank you, John. We were so excited to have you here. This is your first time in Korea, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. No, I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. I've been doing food business in Europe for many years, and I'm still getting used to the interviewing in English. Please excuse me strong French accent.
No, thank you. If we were to do the interview in Korean, it would be very bad because I don't know any. So I'm grateful that you are willing to do the interview in English. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. One of the most remarkable things in your book is the story of the sea turtle. Can you explain once again? Because this story touched me personally because I love diving.
Sure. Yeah. It's a story with the character of Casey, who is a waitress in the cafe, is talking to John. And she tells the story of a green sea turtle. And in essence, she's sharing that when she was in Hawaii, she was snorkeling and saw a green sea turtle. And she thought, oh, I can swim with a green sea turtle. And then the green sea turtle was getting farther and farther away from her, and she couldn't figure out why that was the case. Like, why can't I swim with a turtle? And so she went the next day and was out there and saw another turtle. And in watching the turtle, she had a major aha moment. And the essence of the aha moment is that the reason that the turtle was able to swim so much faster than Casey was is because it linked its movements with the flow of the water. And so when the water was in its face and a lot of obstacles, it would hold its position and just wait. But when the movement of the water was pushing it forward, so as the movement switched direction, then the turtle would use its energy. Then the turtle would paddle its fins, and it would go so quickly. And Casey sits down after having that experience and realizes that in that experience is a major life lesson. And the life lesson is that in our lives, every day, there are people, there are articles, there are advertisements, there are text messages, there are everything you can imagine trying to occupy your time and your energy. And so the question to ask ourselves is, are these things supportive of me moving my life in the direction that I want to go? Or are they actually keeping me from that life? And once we have that state of mind, it's so easy to see all of these things as either support or distractions. And when we have that frame of reference, we can start getting rid of the ones that are the distractions, and we can fill our lives with the ones that are support. And it's when I had the aha moment of that, it was unbelievably life-changing for me. And it really reframed the way that I looked at everything that was in my life. Everything from clothes in my closet to distractions that were coming in my email to what was sitting in my mailbox. It just changed everything in terms of how I looked at life.
What I really wanted to share in your book is the wave coming in our constant success of distraction or people that waste our resources like time, energy, and money. Another question. How can we save our time from these distractions?
Yeah, what's our process for not allowing this incoming wave of items to occupy all of our time, our energy? Our thoughts too, Kelly. You know, it's interesting. We think about resources, time, energy, financial, but our thoughts and is one of the biggest things because that can sap your energy, that can sap your time. And so to me, it's a segmentation process that I ask myself, oh, all these things that are coming at me, are these things that are going to enable me to live the life that I want or not live the life that I want? And if my desire is to travel the world, but I'm spending my time just watching comedy specials nonstop, maybe I'm actually trying to run away from the life that I don't want instead of running towards the life that I do want. And so even something as simple as the way I spend my time watching television could be an incoming wave item. But even bigger than that to me are the things like email, text, social media time. All of those things, if you look at them and say, okay, is this hour that I'm spending getting me closer to the life that I want to live or getting me farther or nowhere at all? It can be incredibly eye-opening. So just look at the way we spend our time every day and start to get rid of the ones that are not supporting us. And the math is that if you spend 20 minutes of your day every day, and you do that for about 40 years, I can't remember the exact math that I describe in the book, but it's about 40 years, that in essence, if you total up all of those minutes, that is basically a year of your life, of your awake life, that you're losing on this thing that you don't even care about. Wow, like I'm thinking about all the other things that I also spend my time on that I don't care about. And so to me, this is a wonderful exercise. So for everyone who reads the book, when you get to that point, I think it's awesome to grab your pen and write in the margins of the book and to say, wait a minute, how much time am I spending on things that I don't really care about? And in total, how many years of my life is that? That can be a great motivator.
Should we avoid people who doesn't help us live our purpose? How do we communicate to them gently to keep their distance?
And I think at the end of the day, we only have one person who our purpose needs to make sense to, and that's us. And so very gently, you can explain why your purpose is so important. And if at the end of that discussion, the person still doesn't get it, I personally recommend adding a little bit of distance. If they're not going to be supportive, let's put it this way. They're either supportive, they're neutral, or they're negative. If they're neutral and there's other aspects of your relationship that you really enjoy and add value to your life in some sort of way, probably worth keeping that relationship. If they're supportive, fantastic. That's the ideal. But if in your heart of hearts, when you look, you really can tell that this person is a net negative in your life, I think you owe it to yourself to ask the question, why am I allowing this person to occupy my time, my energy, my finances, my thoughts? Why? You get to choose. And so why not fill that space with someone who is more supportive or at least neutral?
Do you have any advice to avoid unhealthy relationships?
Well, I think that once you recognize that a relationship is unhealthy, it's important to ask yourself why. Like, why is this relationship in my life to begin with? If it's family, okay, you don't necessarily pick your family. You're just born into whatever you're born into. But one of my biggest aha moments ever in regards to this topic is that we do not pick where we're born, but we do pick where we stay. And we don't pick who we're born to, but we do pick who we stay around. And so allowing yourself to open up space where space is necessary for you to live the life that you most want to live, I think is one of the greatest things you can do for yourself. And to the contrary, allowing yourself to build stronger relationships with the people that you know in your heart of hearts are the people that you want to have the strongest relationships with.
What are some issues that people find when they focus on PFE?
Well, I think that the human experience is designed so that there are challenges. One of the big aha moments is to realize that you can expect challenges even when you're living in alignment with your purpose. So don't let that throw you off. Don't let that be the reason that you quit. Just realize that that's part of the process. And I would say a second thing is sometimes when you make a big change in your life and you are now aligned with your purpose, that the people around you might be very uncomfortable with that. And the reason is because they know you as you are now. So let's say that you work for someone else and in your heart of hearts, you've always dreamed of being an entrepreneur, but nobody in your family is an entrepreneur. None of your friends are entrepreneurs. And so when they hear that you're thinking about quitting your job and doing something entrepreneurial, this may cause them to freak out a little bit. The truth is that their fears should not be the reason that you don't live the life that you most want to live. I experienced the same thing when it came to, I'm going to go backpack around the world for a year. Or even, I'm going to go backpack to Colombia. A lot of people were like, oh my gosh, it's so dangerous there, you shouldn't go. And so if this happens to you, realize that just because they say it doesn't mean you need to absorb it. It could just be that they're dealing with their own issues. It really has nothing to do with you.
When I was 40, before that, I launched my company 9 years. When I felt my company, I said already 1 million debt. And then I want to found one job for me, but nobody want to hire me. That's why I want to hire myself and I want to create another company without capital. Many people said, Kelly, you're a loser. You don't have to do another entrepreneurship. And then, it's never gonna be working. Many boys around me. It's my family, my best friend. Many people, especially in Korea, we are very close with the family. And then sometimes family have to the little bit distance for focusing our PFE.
And again, it's about you allowing yourself to live the life that you know in your heart that you were supposed to live and letting those people sort out their own issues on their own time.
When I know my own purpose, instead I don't know my purpose, it makes me feel secure and I deliver more, I achieve more, I success more, and the relationship is better because I keep my communication very clear way. Even my relationship with the people around me was become very good. What do you think about that?
There are certain people that you just feel drawn to. And the reason we feel drawn to them is because they appear confident, they appear on their path, and they tend to glow. Energetically they glow, just even their appearance. You met someone, there was just something about them. And that something is that level of confidence and charisma that comes with knowing that this is the reason I'm here on the planet, and I'm in the midst of living that purpose, and I'm very comfortable with myself. And so I think that's a very common thing that happens when people find their purpose and then are actively living their purpose.
But I just wanted to say first, this was such a great read for my personally. And this book has sold about 6 million copies worldwide, translate in 43 languages, and especially in Germany. Your success unprecedented. What do you think it become such a sensation to audience around the world?
Well, first of all, thank you. I'm honored that you read it. I'm honored that you enjoyed it. That is always the highest compliment for an author. I think the reason that it's done so well is because it has 3 main questions in it. So it's a story, first of all. And I think I like to read stories, and so I think that's part of it. And in the story, there are 3 main questions that the character finds on the menu. Why are you here? Do you fear death? And are you fulfilled? And I think these are questions that are universal, Kelly. I think that whether you're in Portugal or the United States in Florida or in Korea, that we as human beings on some level are asking ourselves these questions and curious about the answers. And so I think because these questions are universal, that's part of the reason that it is connected so well with audiences around the world.
Wow. What would you say is the one message you wanted to deliver more than anything else?
Is people say, I thought I was alone in thinking about these things. And then I came across your book and I realized that I'm not alone. In addition to you're not alone, that no matter where you're at right now in your life, that you have the capacity to live an extraordinary life, no matter how you define extraordinary.